Hey, what's up, guys? Joe the Show here with Black Panthers and Wakanda Forever's release date being right around the corner. I thought I'd revisit the MCU movies in chronological order. I've been a huge fan of not just MCU movies, but superhero movies in general. They have had a ton of sentimental value to me since I was a kid. I was born in the 90s, so I grew up watching cartoons such as Batman, X-Men, and Spider-Man the Animated Series. So even though I read some comics, my introduction to most of these heroes were from these Saturday morning cartoons. That being said, Captain America, which is the movie we'll be taking a look at today, was a very prevalent in my childhood. Although he is in a few episodes of Spider-Man cartoon, so I wasn't too knowledgeable about Captain America beforehand, but I was pretty excited about seeing this movie back in 2011. I was also on a trip to Orlando, Florida at the time of its release, so I got to watch it at Downtown Disney, which definitely enhanced the experience. That being said, let's talk about this movie. So right off the bat, I really like this movie. I think it's one of the best origin stories in the MCU, even though this movie came out 11 years ago. You meet Steven Rogers, this fragile guy who has a good moral compass with a clear worldview. What's that worldview? You stand up to bullies. He does this even before he becomes Captain America. And you know that's a deeply rooted conviction because when most people receive a surplus of money, approval, or power, their worldview changes. His doesn't. It remains the same. Now, since this is a Captain America movie, we have to talk about Chris Evans' performance. It's so good. You generally believe that he cares about Bucky, his troops, and Peggy. You believe that he wholeheartedly believes in his worldview. Another thing I liked about this movie is when Steve Rogers becomes Captain America, he doesn't become a hero right off the bat. He's doing all those cheesy speaking engagements all across the United States. Even though he has all this strength, he's kind of sidelined. He's helping, but he's not a hero. That hero status wasn't given to him immediately. He earns that hero status when he goes on that rescue mission, which makes Captain America's arc that much more fulfilling to watch because it was earned. Another thing I liked about this movie was that it was a period piece. It's very distinct from the other MCU movies because it takes place in the 1940s, so it feels different from all the other MCU movies that take place in modern day. Now, this movie does have a lot going for it, but here's some cons. Once a movie transitions from a Steve Rogers origin story to a Captain America versus Red Skull story, it slows down quite a bit for me, mainly because of the Red Skull. While I like Hugo Weaving's performance, the villain himself just doesn't age well in 2022, especially in light of the amazing villains we've seen since, like Thanos, Killmonger, the Vulture, Loki, and Hela. These villains have depth, some of them are even relatable, while Red Skull was pretty one-dimensional. He's your quintessential mustache-twirling villain. So the lack of a compelling antagonist does drag this movie down, and the ending doesn't help either. Like, we all know Captain America is supposed to end up in ice, but I think they could have executed that part better. But overall, despite being overshadowed by its amazing sequels, Captain America, the First Avenger, still gives us one of the best origin stories of one of the most impactful Avengers in all the MCU. 11 years later, I still believe it's worth a watch. Now, those are my thoughts. I'll love to read yours in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the show. Out.